You are about to witness the answers to the most hardest tattoo related questions on the internet. So strap in, but not really. Q&A Sunday, let's go. Getting straight into it with the first question. Can I use a 0.30 curved mag to make an area of solid black with the Pendulum Technique? Or can I use the Pendulum Technique to darken the area and do one quick pass with small circles just to make sure it's solid black? Or will that eat up the skin? Please and thank you. Much love. All right, there is absolutely no point in doing the Pendulum Technique when you are packing black. The Pendulum Technique is only used for blends and for shading. When something is solid black, just go solid black. Small, little tight circles, pack it in nice. If you did pendulum motion and then you went over and started packing black, or you just continued doing pendulum motion until you got to the desired black that you want, well, just gonna say that if you did that, you'd get to bone before you got to black. I would never. The next question is from Alcatraz 706. What's with the long questions, man? Seriously. Here's one. What do you think about big tattoo companies from the West constantly spewing out tattoo machines and equipment that's super overpriced and sometimes nonsensical, like those apps and shit, while trashing Chinese-made decent products? I'm a tattooer from the Philippines, hence my shitty grammar. Grammar's on point, dude. Just saying. Who mainly use those China-made stuff, not inks, of course. And let me tell you, most of those reviews are kind of biased. And also, with all the high-tech equipment available today, do you think the soul of tattooing is slowly fading away? I mean, holy shit! Tattooing became like the new norm. But then again, I'm one of those so-called dinosaurs. Ha ha. Maybe I'm just missing being a part of the subculture back then. Dude, I had to take 90 breaths for all that. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Keep these questions short. I'm only joking. Alright, so what do I think about the big companies selling machines overpriced and overhyped? You'd be hard pressed to find a machine that is not close to $1,000 or £1,000. I could bet that they start from at least 800 and go to 1,000 or above. Critical just released a brand spanking new machine, their first ever tattoo machine. So, that's entry level to the tattoo machine market. Now, they did do power supplies, obviously, and they do some of the best power supplies that I've ever used. I've only ever used Critical power supplies, so I'm not knocking on Critical when I say this, but they have come into the industry with a brand spanking new product, their first tattoo machine, and they have immediately priced it at over $1,250, mate. Something around that area, don't quote me. That to me is just absolutely crazy. It is nuts. The price of tattoo machines these days are terrible. It is nonsensical to have your price that high. But while ever artists are buying these machines at that price, all they will ever keep doing is increasing that price, and they will push the tattoo industry to the limits of what they can get from the tattoo industry. But that's business. It's business. If people are going to buy it, they're going to sell it at that price. And finally, do I think that the soul of the tattoo industry is dying? I don't think that the soul of the tattoo industry is dying. I just think that it has to constantly adapt with the times. It is forever progressing, and it will always be forever progressing. It's not like we're gonna hit like a plateau in machines and needles. New companies are gonna be constantly bringing out new, more innovative stuff. So I don't think the soul is dying. I just think that the industry is going in a different direction than it used to be. But you know what you've also got to take into account is that you are the soul of the tattoo industry. All right, the tattoo industry isn't you. You can be the tattooist that you want to be, and if you want to be the type of tattoo artist where you feel like that you hold that soul of the tattoo industry better, then you know that's on you, and you can be that example. Next question: large limb work, swelling tips. All right, I know Alcatraz did a super long question where it took 90 breaths to get through, but dude, I need more than this. Large limb work, swelling tips. Swelling happens everywhere. You can tattoo a finger and it will swell. You can tattoo a toe and it will swell. Whether large limb work swelling or small limb work swelling is swelling. I mean, unless you get some, say you do a tattoo on a leg and then the entire leg bloats up, and yeah, swelling is just something that you're gonna have to deal with in the tattoo industry. It is just one of the factors that goes into tattooing on real skin. There's nothing really much that you can do about it. If the swelling gets too much, you can, come away from that area if the tattoo is large enough and let it settle down. But unfortunately, it is something that you are just gonna have to deal with. Maybe they could take some ibuprofen. Now, please do not go, telling your clients to take a certain pill, because if they take a certain pill and then something happens to them, that is on you. So never tell your clients to, take ibuprofen, paracetamol, anything like that. But those things do help for swelling, and that's really the only thing that you can do aside from just deal with it. Next question is from my man Shane Bowles, who has been a long time supporter of this channel. I still do appreciate it, dude. I love the support that you give me. Thank you so much. Outside of tattooing and photography, what would your other art path be? I have absolutely no idea. I got into photography quite late. I got into tattooing quite late. I had absolutely no aspirations to be a tattoo artist. I had absolutely no aspirations to be a photographer. I got into photography because I got into YouTube and I got into the camera systems, and it was only then that I discovered that I liked it. And I got into tattooing just because I thought the job looked cool. As cliche and as stupid as that is, I thought the job looked cool. I thought that I could do that job. Turns out that when I started looking to get into the tattoo industry, that my art was absolutely terrible. So I, progressed my artwork, but up until that point, I'd only drawn in school. I was semi-decent, but I completely stopped drawing and I completely stopped anything artistic up until the point of watching Miami Ink and thinking I could do that job. I honestly don't think that if I wasn't a tattoo artist or a photographer that I'd be progressing any type of art. I really don't. I love gaming. I am borderline addicted to gaming. I'm playing Diablo 4 at the minute. Just I'm tattooing, I'm thinking about Diablo 4, alright? It's that good. But so I would probably do something with gaming or something like that. Maybe try to build a stream up, a Twitch stream or something. But other than that, I honestly don't think I would have done anything artistic. Photography and tattooing are the only thing artistic that I do. I don't even draw in my own time. I don't do Procreate, drawings, nothing, absolutely nothing. So which, you know, it's kind of weird really, because my life is surrounded by art, and I couldn't imagine my life now not being surrounded by art. But if I'm being honest, if I didn't do tattooing and I didn't do photography, which put me in that, you know, surrounding of art, yeah, I wouldn't have done anything. I'd have just been, you know, working some 9 to 5 somewhere, trying to build a stream up, a gaming stream. I imagine something to do with gaming anyway. How can you scale up to meet the actual size you want to tattoo on client on Procreate? Okay, so if you are doing a forearm, for example, I would always have my canvas at A4 size. When you transfer A4 size over onto A4 paper, you know, it's a 1-to-1 scale. It's absolutely fine. Now, what you can do on Procreate, if you do have a bigger piece, is do it on a 4K canvas. That way, when you know, start printing it off and it's blown up to size, your stencil lines aren't, you know, pixelated or anything like that, which would be a problem when you run it through a stencil machine. What I personally would do is stick to the A4 canvas. Say the tattoo is like full back piece. What I will do is I'll print the actual tattoo off in 4 sections: top right, top left, bottom left, you know, bottom right, and then just splice them together, bit of tape, and, you know, hope for the best that you get that stencil on first time, because that's a lot of work, and, you know, you only want to be doing it once. And we are on to the final question, which is a really, really good question. How did you learn how to tattoo? What was your apprenticeship like? And how do you deal with imposter syndrome? All right, so I'll just run over the quick gist of it. At the very, very, very beginning of my career, I just watched Miami Ink, right? And I was like, this job looks good. They are clearly getting paid a whack. It looks fun. I can do this. That was my mindset. I did not actually think that I wanted to be a tattooist or that I would progress tattooing for as long as I have, until I did my first tattoo. At that point, it was just, this looks cool, I want to do it, there's some money in this. So then what happened is my girlfriend at the time had a friend, and her friend's husband was a tattoo artist. He had just started working in a tattoo studio. That was my link, right? So she put me in contact with the tattoo artist. I formed a friendship with this tattoo artist. I'm still friends with this tattoo artist today. We've kind of come up together, but he started learning me a few little things, you know, here and there. I started getting tattooed by him. While I was getting tattooed, started asking questions, and then eventually I bought a machine from that tattoo artist, and then I just started just tattooing. I tattooed a Hello Kitty myself. I tattooed a tribal design on my leg and a cherry blossom on my leg, right? After I'd done those 3 tattoos, I went straight on to tattooing like family and friends. Now at that time, there was no YouTube, and if there was YouTube, it was very new, and you know, there certainly wasn't tattoo artists putting things on YouTube, learning people. So yeah, it was just a case of trial and error, just constant trial and error. And what I did is I did enough of a job to build a very, very small portfolio. Like, if this portfolio came to me now, they'd get laughed out the door. Like, it was just a different time. But then that got me into a studio / apprenticeship, right? The apprenticeship, it wasn't a traditional apprenticeship. I went straight in and I was tattooing, but I was so fresh still to tattooing that, you know, I definitely was apprentice or apprentice level. So that's why I call it an apprenticeship. But a traditional apprenticeship, I didn't really have one. For the most part, I am completely self-taught with the slightest bit of guidance. And finally, how do you deal with imposter syndrome? Whew, that's a heavy question. Heavy question. All right, imposter syndrome. I get it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do get imposter syndrome. I don't get it more with like tattooing. Like, I know my tattoos are of a standard. Like, my tattoos might not be good. They might not be the best tattoos that you've ever seen in your life, all right? But I know at least they're of a standard. They are passable. I suffer more imposter syndrome with YouTube. Like, why are these, beautiful people listening to me? Like, what am I doing that makes you listen to me? Because I view my work, I suck. Like, I know the advice is good, but I know the advice is good because I've used that advice and it has progressed me. So even if it progresses you just a little bit, like, I know that it works. But I still do think often, should you be listening to me? Like, there is a million tattoo artists out there that are at levels that I will probably never reach. My apprentice, he is phenomenal at artwork. We was on about this yesterday. Any task I give him, like, he absolutely smashes out the park. He's just a phenomenal artist, and he has the potential to be better than I can ever be, right? And I see this caliber of artist and I'm like, don't listen to me. Like, you should be listening to those. But then again, I do know the advice is solid, so it's a hard one. Like, I don't really suffer imposter syndrome within tattooing and stuff. I don't. I think that's because it's my mindset when I am tattooing, that I'm so used to that when I am tattooing, I am the single greatest artist in the world, right? And I make myself believe that while I'm doing the tattoo. But after the tattoo, that's completely gone. And I am, in the mindset of, that could have been done better, that needs to be done better. That shit, what were you doing there? So that's just like my process. So I think because I've got a process, that's why I don't get imposter syndrome with that. But within the regards of YouTube, I definitely get it. I definitely always think that, you shouldn't be listening to me. I am so grateful that you do listen to me and that I can provide at least some knowledge your way. But I definitely do think it, for sure. I mean, I have worked hard for where I am at. Like, I am tattooing, then I come home, I do designs. I have to do the video, film the video for the week. Then during the week, I have to edit that video, do the thumbnails. Then I'm back to tattooing, and then now I've started doing shorts a lot more. So, like, I definitely earn my position on the platform. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I get it. I do get it all the time. And now, how do I deal with it? I don't think you ever deal with it. I really don't. I think you just get used to it. It's not like there is a remedy where you can just be like, I'm gonna do this and that's gonna cure the imposter syndrome. I don't think that exists. I think it's just the mindset of the individual, and it never goes away. It's such a far example, but if somebody that you love dies, all right, you don't ever stop missing them. You just learn to live without them. And every so often you'll think about them and you'll get sad, but 5 minutes later, you're okay, you've moved on from it. It's exactly like that, all right? You learn to live with it. But guys, that is all for today's video. I hope you have learned something. As always, if you are new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to turn on the bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. If you want any added extra benefits, there's a Patreon link in the description, but do not join Patreon if you are not going to use those benefits. Tattoo course, People are still asking about the tattoo course. It is coming. It takes time, but it is coming. All right, please, please, I need you to be patient. I don't want to just put it out because you're asking for it and it's half cooked. Like, I don't want that. But it is coming and it will come soon. But guys, I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to like this video. Peace out. Much love.